Hmm.
What are you doing?
I was looking at something that doesn't seem to be. It looks like we're live, but I. Well, even just, I just want to. I'm gonna let my phone tell me. I'm gonna let Twitch let me know if it's on right now. For whatever reason, takes. There it goes. Okay, we are live for episode reviews of 4 and 5 of the Dragon Prince. These episodes continue off of last four that we watched at this point, and I guess a little bit more character development or character, like we get a chance to know a little bit more about certain characters, not too much more than than we currently know already. I think let's see the episode 4 we yeah, it's episode 4. I think this episode is when that assassin dude that May sicked on Elvin chick shows up. 'Cause I think no, this episode 5 he shows up. What's episode 4 about?
Mhm. They sort of, yeah, it's episode 4. Or, I mean, it's episode 5.
What episode 4 was about then?
Episode 4, he's playing with his magic thing. She goes off and she's trying to cut off her wristband. The second one, because the first one fell off on its own when the king was assassinated. The second one, she's trying to pull off when they're asleep, right? That's in the second episode. Or is it in the. I mean, that's in this episode 5, not 6, right? When the assassin does come.
Wait a minute.
Or is it episode 6? It's either 5 or 6, but
Wait, why did I? Okay, yeah, you can keep talking. I need to change something. I don't know why I got the titles episode 4 and 5. I guess it's 5 and 6.
yeah. No, it's 6 with the assassin.
Okay, so episode 5 is about what?
Episode 5 was Kalen kind of like working on his magic, and they have that issue with the river when she kind of starts admitting that she's afraid of water.
Oh yeah, we also that episode we also find out about her parents and the dragon, in the dragon thing. Which is quite interesting. That I guess they decided to do a little bit more with her. These last two episodes have kind of had a huge emphasis on her, and I guess the secrets that she's been holding. One,
Yeah.
I want to say I think episode 6 is probably when she revealed them all. I think.
No, she still hasn't revealed that she knows their father's dead, and that she took an oath to kill him too.
No, I'm pretty sure that's what she said in episode 6 when they were about to fall into like the to the well when the
She
dragon egg
didn't.
fell.
She tried to say, but she didn't get to.
No, I'm pretty sure she did. So you say it.
But she didn't.
Let me go back and watch. I just finished watching that one. I'm pretty sure she did. Oops, let me just turn down this volume.
Thank you for telling us, but we need to focus.
I fought him off, but it was hard. Because of this.
You don't need to do this right now, Rayla.
Yes, I do. This is an assassin's binding, a moonshadow elf ritual. Before I met you, I swore an oath. I bound myself to end Prince Ezrin's life. And this binding will never come off while he's alive. It will just get tighter and tighter until I lose my hand. But I'm ready to pay that price.
Thank you for telling us, but we need to focus on the situation.
There's one more thing. The night I met you, something bad happened.
Rayla, there's no time.
Callum, I need to tell you. The king!
Just take it!
Okay, yeah, she was about to say it, and then all hell broke loose. Okay.
Yeah, she tried to say it and then she couldn't.
But yeah, these last two episodes have been nothing more focusing on, I guess, the things that she hasn't been saying. Hmm?
I don't know why she's making such a big deal about it, honestly.
With the king?
Because, yeah, I mean, I feel like they're pretty sure the king didn't make it, and
Well, I'm pretty sure that I think Callum already said that the king was dead, but like as soon as they were leaving, I think he even yelled that at his stepbrother the entire time. So
yeah, and I think it's a moot point that she took an oath to kill him because they've certainly seen her help try to stop this, you know. So I
well,
don't
the
know.
problem is that this is about trust, and Callum doesn't think he can trust her. And it's really just about. I mean, we also heard this thing till these two episodes too was the fact that as kids they were told all these evil things about these moon elves, and he doesn't know whether it's true or not. But then again, he said before that's kind of a moot point because this particular one has been helping them, you know, and keeping them safe through a lot of the stuff that's been happening. If they wouldn't have survived half the things they had gone through without her. So
Mm,
I don't really know 100% like why he's still um not positive he can trust her. I get that he definitely senses there's things that she's not telling him, but um I didn't know that second bracelet was. But the problem we face now is that how does
you know that the
she
second
get?
bracelet was about the king?
Huh?
You didn't know that the second bracelet was connected to the king?
No, I didn't know the second bracelet was connected to the prince.
Oh, yeah. Well, she says it straight out in this in episode 6.
Yeah, I think I think I might have misunderstood that entire exchange. I
Oh,
think that's what happened. I think I have misinterpreted that entire exchange. Um,
yeah.
I originally thought that those both bindings were for the prince, which is why I was so confused when only one of them dropped in the second episode. But
Mm.
my problem now is that she's gonna lose her hand. I know she says she's ready to make that sacrifice, but I don't think she is.
I
She's
think she is. I don't think she's going to lose her hand though. I think that they're going to work this out somehow.
how? Like they made a blood oath. Is that what this was? And blood oaths end in death. I mean, I know this isn't a
Yeah,
blood oath, but still, it's the same concept that like there's an end that these oaths take, and it looks like the only way that she's going to get through this is she loses her hand.
I don't see anything in the episode so far that could be used to break the blood oath, but I don't see her being a one-handed assassin with twin swords as her main fighting item. I think right now that they're establishing that she's making the big sacrifice and establishing what a loyal and worthwhile person she is and how different she is from what the princess expected. But I think in the long run, they're going to find some way to get rid of it, either with a black magic solution that wasn't available in the fairy world, or the guy that's tinkering with magic, Caleb, is going to like find some relic or something like that, with that cube that he has that seems to be able to detect magic in its source. Maybe he'll find some relic or something like that they can use. But I just don't see. Um, I don't see the show making her one-handed. I think it's more about the fact that she was prepared to be one-handed, if that's what it took to not kill them.
I don't know. I feel like if they're already gone this far with her hand becoming purple, like I wouldn't put it past them to. I mean, then again, they never kill anybody in their shows because, well, actually, I'll take that back because in Avatar, I think someone did die, and they died off screen. And I think they even make fun of
Mhm.
that point in one of the episodes where they were in a theater that somebody died off camera, and they weren't specific about that.
Yeah.
I forgot who it was, but I'm pretty sure they were making fun of that. But I
Oh,
mean,
cabbages.
no, he never died. He lived on forever.
No, he's dead. He's dead.
No, he lived on forever.
Nope.
No, he lived on forever. He literally had
No.
children. His son is
No.
is a guy at Cabbage Corp in Legend of Korra. These,
No, that's a fanboy.
no, that was a that was his son or grandson.
Nope.
He actually
It's a
says
clone.
this. He actually says
It's a
this.
clone. It's a
No, he
clone.
says this. And they don't have clone
Mhm.
technology in that world.
Oh, the Avatar. He clone bended.
There's no such thing as clone bending. Do you know how you sound right now?
Mm-hmm. Like an ass.
Okay, I'm glad we're on the same page. I like how you just came up with that. You didn't even press the issue. You just came out with it. It's like I know what I am. I'm proud of it. But
you know.
like the Dragon Prince. I mean, yeah. Well, I think what's gonna. I mean, clearly there's some other unspoken thing about the Blood Oath, and considering they made an effort to have the older dude say that you're still young or whatever, you're not ready to kill.
Mhm.
There must be something that was not spoken that she didn't know about. Maybe that has something to do with unbinding. Granted, I think by the end of this, we're gonna be in the Moon Elves kingdom because um they keep talking about Zadia this and Zadia that, which is quite surprising. They bring this up, and apparently, I think in episode 5 too, they bring up that apparently humans used to be in Zadia, and then they were forced out,
Mhm.
which is interesting. Also, that's another thing too is that they do a little more world building, saying that like in Zadia, magic's everywhere, so it kind of gives credence to your whole idea that there was probably some beings out there that humans descended from that maybe magic came from.
Mhm.
But
I'm sorry. Could you say that again? I got distracted. I was looking something up.
how dare you?
I'm sorry. It'll be worth it when I tell you what it is. But tell me what we. Give me a quick recap of what you just said.
No, I was saying that we found out some small world building things such as magic was everywhere in Zadia, and apparently humans used to reside in Zadia, but then they get
Mhm.
kicked out by everything else. Also, there's three other human kingdoms in this world that they just decided to let slip. So I don't know if we're ever gonna see those people or um. I guess another thing too, like they're just like piling things on this episode in episode 4. Apparently May has been like guarding some trench that's been holding back some forces. Um, and apparently she's quintessential to keeping that keeping the wall up, I guess. But whatever is behind it though, it seems to be really dangerous. I don't know what they're holding back, but I almost feel like they were gonna see it by the end of the season.
I think so. I really love that they pile things on, but that I don't feel overwhelmed by this stuff at all. Like I feel like I can completely keep on top of these episodes, but they're extremely dense.
The
Like
seasons
we're
are
five
super short.
episodes in and they've introduced like 20 characters, but I don't feel like I don't know who anybody is. They've like introduced like they've done all of the world building like that you need for like right now. Like I have questions, but they're all good questions or fun questions, not like serious things, you know? Like not plot hole or problem questions.
We got 3 more episodes left, so I think we're at the pinnacle of the we're at like I guess the climax you could say of the
Season
season.
one's 9 episodes.
Season 1's 9 episodes. Season 2 is 9 episodes. Season 3 is 9 episodes.
Oh, what a bummer.
Yeah, the series is incredibly short. But that was it. 27. No, wait a minute. That's wrong. That's not 27 episodes. That's more than that.
That's 9 times 3 is 27.
Then my math is correct. I was concerned that my math wasn't correct. But moving on. Um, I mean, yeah, they throw things on. I would want more exploration in terms of like. I mean, granted, they've done a good job at like the whole like adventure. The adventure is more important than than the end because we still know where
Mm-hmm.
we're going, but we're still having many adventures along the way. Um, so much so that by episode 6, at the end of it, the glowing and the dragon egg is ceased, but I don't think the dragon. I don't think the dragon's dead. Cause that'd
I
be
don't think the glowing ceased. I think it just dimmed.
glowing ceased. I don't think it's dead. It might be getting close to hatch.
No, I think it just dimmed. Like, go watch the scene again. It doesn't go completely out.
The egg turned like dark blue. Like that looks like ceased lighting.
It got darker. I don't disagree that it got darker, but it doesn't turn. It doesn't stop glowing.
Going to need to be up here to pull him out.
But he's just a
Going back to where it is.
Alive. He has
It's around 23:55.
Put the egg back. You did it. Please, Ezrin, you gotta be okay.
You can see it pulsing and everything. Like, it's definitely not stop. It definitely doesn't stop glowing by the end of the episode.
Something's wrong with the egg.
Why did it really look dark to me?
Did you watch this 6 days ago?
No,
Okay.
it literally looked like to me when I first watched this episode earlier that the glowing turned dark blue. It didn't. It stopped glowing.
But you watched it now and you see that it's glowing, right?
Yes, I mean I see it. It's still glowing.
Are you
It
sure?
did-
Because 6 days ago was 420.
I don't smoke.
I don't either.
He's sort of rosy.
Not where I thought you were going with that, but continuing on. Well, guys, my point still stands. It isn't mute. I don't think that the egg is like dying or going to become dead. That would kind of make the whole point of this journey to be pointless at this point. But
Yeah, the whole thing would fall apart. I think it probably took a hit from the cold, and the point is that the egg is durable, but it's not invincible like they're treating it. Like they've been dropping it, they've been running around with it, they've been going over waterfalls with it, and they're acting like it's like the series needs to kind of remind you that like sooner or later this egg can only take so much. You can't go like deliberately go over waterfalls with it and go swimming in ice water with it and dropping it and everything else that they've been doing and expect it to be totally fine.
I guess there's like small little details. I guess I can go on this now. The very beginnings of the series, it introduces us to sources of primordial magic, and like a lot of shows, they usually get introduced some like something like something you can't always have something without a cost. Granted, none of the primordial magics have done that, other than through you have to be able to gather the source to be able to use the source for at least the 6 primordial magics. Dark magic, on the other hand, other than the consume cost, which is other lives, there hasn't really been a source. There hasn't really been I guess a not a limit, but like a backfire. Like dark magic gonna cost something. I think an episode is either 5 or 6, or it might be actually 6. But there's a beginning scene where we see Varian going into the closet, I guess in his room, with all these like little butterflies.
Mhm.
We cut away and he comes out, and then at the bottom, as he's walking away, we see the corpse of a shriveled up moth. Uh, that's interesting. I almost wonder if that means he has to constantly absorb like life of some sort, or something else is going to happen.
It definitely made me wonder. I wondered if, based on the conversation he had with the moth before he killed it, if he was like staying young or something with it.
I mean, yeah, I mean, there's got to be some like there's got to be some side effect to using dark magic.
Mhm.
Usually in a lot of, I guess, fictional areas, like dark magic can either kill you or it will age you faster.
Mhm.
Especially when this is kind of a well, not really a kid show, but as close it is to as close as it is to a kid show, they probably won't have dark magic kill him.
I
So
would call this like a teenager/young adult show.
I don't know if they would. I don't know. Well, I mean, this is Netflix. so they might allow the death in there. But I don't.
Mm.
But they went out of the way to really cut out the showing of him being killed. So
The guards and stuff, like secondary characters, have been killed.
yeah, we
And the
haven't really
king
seen a
himself.
lot
And
of death. At least of major
no,
characters.
not a ton, but death is definitely part of the series.
I don't know if they would actually go out of the way to make dark magic kill him. I mean, not that saying they wouldn't. I just don't know if they would go out their way to do that.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. I mean, something's
They
going
do.
on.
They do make it kind of uncertain about whether a character is dead or not when they do show someone that's probably dead on the screen. Like when they fight that sea monster and they electrocute the water, and the sea monster's like floating there. Like it's debatable whether or not it's dead. It could be dead, or it could just. And all the guards, when they see them all on the ground, there's no blood or anything. They could be knocked out. You don't know for sure. You know what I mean? But let's face it, they're probably dead. You know, I don't know. The sea monster is definitely up for grabs, but like the guards are probably dead. So
I mean, they say that they lost a lot of a lot of lives during the raid.
right.
I guess we were sort of talking about Varen. Varen, they did a lot of, like, I guess, small development. I'm still confused because I know he's evil, but
Mhm.
his actions like make me question things. It's like, is he 100% evil? Is he just like some jealous guy who got caught up in a bad situation, is trying to make the best of it? Granted, I say all this, and then he says that he wants his son to kill Callum and the prince. So then I go back to like wondering what in the world is the ultimate end game. He
And then
he
he tells his daughter that if she has a choice between his son and the egg, to pick the egg.
Yeah, I get that, but it just goes to show that whole thing where I said last week that he seems to confide in his daughter a lot more than in his son.
Well, yeah, which I would do too.
Well, I mean, in this situation, I guess you would, but still, like, at the same time, it's like he's still blood. You don't just kill your own blood. I mean, you can, but you just don't do that. And it doesn't seem
Yeah.
like he's 100% certain he's gonna die. Just that if he does end up dying, take the egg. But
Yeah. The only possible saving grace I could give this guy, like the only benefit of the doubt, is if it turns out that he really is doing this in the interest of the human race. If he's just a really brutal man that like is in order to save humankind, then I can't call him pure evil. If he's doing this because he wants to rule the human world and possibly the world in general, then he goes to being unforgivable. But right now, it's the only question I have is he doing this for himself, or does he want to take over because he thinks that he's the only one that can save people in general? You know, because that's the only two stories that I see left open right now about who he is.
here's the problem. I don't know 100% certain if he is a guy who wants to rule the world. Now, granted, that possibility is still out there, but usually people who have this desire within them, they usually see it within them when they're the first two scenes that you see of them. Maybe even giving I'll even give it a little bit more of like, you usually see this within like the first real scene you see of them by themselves. And
Mm-hmm.
so far, the only thing we really seen of this man in any real scene by himself is that he's trying to usurp the throne. Um,
Yeah.
we haven't seen any real like forethought given to trying to rule the world. Granted, he's also trying to take back Zadia, because apparently that used to be where humans used to live. Um, it kind of gives credence to the whole idea that humans used to, he- like the fact that his daughter can use magic isn't something that's random. Like most humans should be able to use magic,
Mm-hmm.
but apparently most humans can't. So, because so far we've only seen a
Well,
couple of select humans use magic.
we've seen everyone that tried to use magic use it, but that's kind of it. No, I agree with you. I just think that Also, from what I know about the Avatar series, is that there's really not any pure evil characters.
Excuse me? The Fire Lord?
Uh, yeah, I'll give you that. He's 99% evil.
99? What part of him, like, what percent of him was good? No, that was like that
Um,
was his grandfather. That was not him. I was thinking back to Aang's past life, but that wasn't him. That was his grandfather.
yeah, it's a hard like I don't know. It's hard to call him anything. He seems like he's more like a warlord than pure evil. Like everything he does is in the interest of conquering the world and making sure that everything is strong and using brutal measures to make sure that everything is strong. But he does very few things that are outside of that goal. Like his goal is so purely conquer the world through harsh justice and severe military measures, but you don't see like a lot of the things that would characterize an evil character in him. You know what I mean? He's just kind of one note all of that.
I still think that makes him evil. I think there are like there are different types of evil. Then there's not just like one type of evil. I think there's like, at least for me, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he isn't he isn't like super powered. I must destroy the world. Like he's more like he's like more megalomaniac. I must rule and conquer my continent and then move on to the
Mm-hmm.
other parts of the world. He's more megalomaniac,
Yeah.
but I still think that's evil. I don't think like I don't think any of that's noble. I mean, none of it's definitely good because it's all in his self interest. But I still see that as a section of evil. It may not be 100%, like take over the world evil. But I mean, not take over the world, but like it isn't like I must destroy the
Mm-hmm.
world or stop people get in my way. Because like everything he's did, yeah, you have a point that everything was in self interest and trying to do this one goal. But anybody who got in his way, he swatted them away like a fly. He sent Iroh away because Iroh was changing his ways. He sent away his son because he questioned him in a meeting, and it was a question. He A lot of these people that that were up in the higher who were close to him,
Mm-hmm.
blood wise or rank wise, he got rid of them because he didn't want them to question his authority.
Right.
I still find that evil. Like there was nothing about Ozai that was admirable. There was nothing about him that was, well, I meant to take that back. I mean, admirable could be taken different ways, but there was nothing about him that was noble. There was nothing about him that was like, I don't think there was anything about him that was good. Period. I honestly spent the entirety of the series thinking this man was evil.
Yeah. I'm not gonna go so far as to disagree. There's a lot of evil he could have been that he wasn't. Like we didn't see him do anything for cruelty's sake. We didn't do just for the sake of being cruel. We didn't see him get joy.
I take fighting your son and burning half his face as cruel.
Yeah, but now in his perspective, it was merciful because he could have killed him. You know what I mean? He believed in a harsh world, so he banished him, but he could have killed him, and that's so in his eyes. I'm not saying it's right, but in his eyes, he was choosing something that he perceived as mercy.
I don't know. Like you must have been looking at Ozai a different way. Because
No,
like
I'm just saying that he's not pure evil in the way that he could have been pure evil. I'm saying he's not as evil as he could have been. He had a lot of opportunity more evil than he was.
I guess I don't know. I just like I mean I understand where you're coming from. Like he had chances to kill people and he didn't. But
He didn't
it's
torture people. He didn't take slaves. He didn't um, do a lot of things.
wait, didn't Ozai kill the Airbenders?
Yeah, he had genocide. Excuse me. He was no, he didn't. Ozai didn't do that. His grandfather did.
Oh,
I hear what you're saying.
that's
He
right.
probably would have done. Somebody killed off all the waterbenders. I don't know who did that in the South.
Wait, was
But
Katara was Katara's clan the Northern Water Tribe? I thought they were the Southern Water Tribe.
that's what I said. I said he killed off the water. Somebody killed off the waterbenders in the South, but we don't know who it was.
Well, I thought
So
Katara got revenge on that.
she did, but what I'm saying is I don't know if I can blame Ozai for that. There was a genocide of the airbenders. I don't know if there was. I don't know if he was responsible for killing off the waterbenders in that tribe or not. But I don't know. There was a lot of things he could have done, even to further the war that he didn't necessarily do. So I don't know. I'm going to chalk him up as 99% evil. He had at least a little bit holding him back from being overly cruel, but not a lot. Like he's evil. Like it's what you're saying is true.
You know, I'm not gonna fight it. I mean, I got 99%. I'm fine with that. I mean, 1% that doesn't change much in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, I just think that like there's a little tiny note there of something that maybe could have been salvaged in a different situation, but wasn't going to be in the story. Like I don't think he was completely irredeemable.
I don't know. I would argue that, but I'm not gonna. I don't really have much of anything to say they couldn't be. But I'm not gonna. I'm not
like
gonna fight.
Endeavor. Like he's not pure and evil like Endeavor.
Moving on. Moving on. Moving on. Let's see what's next in the Prince. Endeavor is not pure evil, by the way. And moving on.
By the way, I did look up what I was saying. I looked up a minute ago. What the mute character said in front of that tomb.
Oh, thank you. Because I was wondering. Because I was sitting here like this would be a good time to know sign language.
Jessie knows a little bit, but she couldn't get enough. She doesn't remember enough to follow it.
Dang it, Jesse! You failed me.
The translation is "Hello, sister," as she kneels before that statue of the knight.
Mm-hmm.
She says, "You were my hero, perfect, brave, and unwavering, kind-hearted and true. I'm sorry, big sister, I failed you. The boys were safe with me, but I let them slip away."
Big sister.
Yeah,
okay.
And then later, when she's talking with the guards and warning them of Viren's malice, Amaya puts a finger over Gren, the redheaded's lips, signaling a deceased talking. And she tells him, "I've trusted you as my voice. Now I trust you as my will. Save the boys."
This is kind of.
He's like,
Well, I mean, I guess he explains why he tied him up. Because if he didn't tie him up, he would have done something.
yeah. But anyway, I thought that was interesting that the mute one had a big sister that
I figured.
looks like maybe not with him.
I figured that there was that was like I didn't know if she was older than her, but I mean even with the little bit that she didn't say when she's talking to Varen about her, definitely. And the funny thing is, I guess speaking of not knowing where Varen stands, when he was talking about her, his eyes widened. It was like almost like an unnatural like glow. If anything, he was being, as far as I can tell, he was being 100% genuine there when he was talking about her. It almost seemed like, now this might just be me, because I know we thought it was last week that maybe there was something family oriented going on. Like you said before, there was more to this than we knew at the time. I feel like this might be a little bit of what you were talking about. From the way he talked about her, it almost seemed like he was in love with her. But unfortunately, she chose his friend versus him. And maybe it's one of those things where if anything, he might just be a jealous friend. And I guess another thing too is, like, before I continue this, like, the Avatar critics did a good job at showing how friendships could turn into years of like regret and like ruining your pretty much your descendants' lives somehow. is like they did such a good job here. I think this is kind of a lot more of a direct influence versus being an influence over generations. But if this is if I guess anything I want to call, maybe this is something to do with that. Maybe taking taking out his like his revenge out through this way, and maybe this been planned. Maybe he never intended to kill his friend, but something happened in that door that made him do it in the first place. Uh,
Mhm.
and it's like maybe even like you said before, maybe he realized what was going on there. And he was talking to him like maybe he realized this is really wasn't about him. This is really about the fact that she chose me and she didn't choose you type of thing. But that just makes him seem really petty. If it has anything, it really has something to do with the fact that you know she chose you and not me. Thing. And I guess another thing too. It was kind of cool how they led up to that in terms of like how he said he told May to take the throne. I would say like why would he even entertain the idea of a soldier taking the throne, and then we see the sister was a queen. I was like, oh, that makes more sense now.
Right.
He was kind of, I mean, if this is all a calculated plan, he's doing a good job at like making sure that not everybody is like keen on his plans, even though his own children are starting to question what's going on. I'm so hoping that the daughter doesn't go insane like Azula, but considering the fact that the voice actress is not Azula's VA, there's still hope. But I'm not gonna hold on to that hope for too much longer. Because I mean, I said this before that it seemed like the daughter was a lot more ditzy. I take that back. I think
Mhm.
both the children are really, really ditzy and airheaded. I don't think, like,
I
these
think she
show.
goes back and forth. I think she has moments of lucidity too. My theory about her is that she is she's going to become good.
No, okay, before you continue on that thought. So you think she's bad?
The wizard, a female wizard character.
Yes, his daughter, yes.
Yeah, just making sure we're talking about the right person. Yeah, I think she is on the bad guy's side right now. I think that she's his most trusted ally. I'm gonna call it that for now. And you can see that you can see that it's something like that. Like he treats her like that. Like when they wouldn't light the torches for the funeral, and he calls on her, and she casts a spell, and everything catches on fire. He knows that he's uses her as his right hand man. He sends her on the same quest as his son, and he tells her that she's got to kill the son. She's definitely the more trusted and preferred one in that respect as well. But I think that I think especially when it came to killing her brother, you see that moment of reluctance, and you've seen other moments of mercy and goodwill as well. Like when she sees the elf and she goes, "Get behind me, I'll protect you," to them, assuming that it's an enemy that's got them. She was ready to protect them. She's like, her goals aren't necessarily evil, and I think that what's going to happen in time is that he's going to keep pushing her and pushing her to do more evil things, and eventually she's just going to get pushed too far, and she's going to say, "I can't. I'm not going over that line."
Yeah, I get that, but the moment you said all that, I just immediately made another freaking draw towards Azula and her, like the whole daddy's girl thing, and the
Mm-hmm.
main reason why Azula really got pushed over the edge was because her father left her behind. And I'm just saying, like, oh dear, I hope that doesn't happen to her in this scenario. I
But
really,
Azula's two best friends, they were May and
yeah, I
Ty
know,
Lee.
but I mean, she was already kind of getting there, and they were the ones that made her get there. But really, what made her go freaking psycho was the fact that her father, in her mind, when her father told her to stay there in the Fire Kingdom and
Mm-hmm.
roll over in his place, that right
Mm-hmm.
there was the last straw, because she took that as her father didn't trust her, and it was one of those
What I'm
things.
saying is, if I had to choose between the wizard, a female wizard character being an offshoot of the concept of Azula or an offshoot of the concepts of May and Ty Lee, I think I would that she's probably storyline more going to turn out to be more like a May and Ty Lee, that where those two characters turned out to be good and coming along out of a sense of loyalty and ultimately fear, in a kind of some combination of those two things. Whereas Azula was more like power hungry and vicious, and and
I was going to say, I know I've always picked at Azula and called her crazy. I think a lot of that isn't her fault. Like,
yeah.
right,
But even Uncle Iroh says like, "Oh, she's crazy and she needs to go down." Like when Iroh doesn't believe in you, you know what I mean. You're pretty far gone.
well, I like to say that on her, I don't think a lot of that's her fault. Because I think even when she's fighting her brother, trying to kill him several times,
Mhm.
several times,
Mhm.
several times.
I think the fact that she's not pure evil is what tortures her at the end. That she's like seeing like these people that she cares about aren't I've hurt her. You know what I mean? She's like, I'm supposed to be invincible, but here my brother has hurt me. You know what I mean? And she's realizing that she's not the sociopathic mastermind that she wants to be. And she gets unhinged by the fact that she's not perfect and that she's not all of these things that she's been building herself up to be. And it breaks down because she's really human at the core. I think that's why she was the one I had in mind when I said that I don't think Avatar characters are usually pure evil, but I thought you were going to bring up Azula and I was ready for a battle with that. And then you said the Lord, and then I was like, Ozai is really hard to defend. I'd have to really sit down and work hard to defend him. But
Yeah, I wasn't really
okay
I didn't. I guess what it comes down to, like, I didn't consider Azula evil. I consider her psychotic.
Yeah,
That's what I consider her. And
and that's how
honestly,
I felt about Ozai. I didn't see him evil so much as a warlord.
him I saw evil. Him, like,
Yeah,
for if I had to choose an evil in that world, it had to be him. But
yeah,
like, I couldn't. If Azula had been pushed further, she probably could
mm-hmm.
have been the evil that Ozai couldn't be, because she was willing to kill people. I think she even
Mm-hmm.
almost attempted to kill people. Um, but it was like one of those things where it's like, I honestly do 100% believe that a lot of her personality is not her fault. It was her surroundings, because she had been brought up to believe that she was perfect. But we're getting really close to that 10:30 mark, so I'm gonna wrap this up real quick. But yeah,
I told you.
there's so many comparisons. There's so many comparisons to be done between these two series. And I honestly, if I had to compare her an outcome that I would prefer for his daughter, I would definitely prefer May. I think that's the girl who was like the lazy one, or she was not lazy, but she was yeah, emo. I think for me, I think she'd be the more um be like, she would be the outcome I prefer, because she didn't change much. She kind of just stuck to her ideals by the end by the end of her arc, and stuck to her guns, and was the first one to betray Azula. So, like, I mean, if anything, if we're gonna go for an Azula breakdown, I hope it's Varen, but I'm not gonna hold on.
Well, she said, "I love Zuko more than I fear you." That was how she summed up like her motivation for changing.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a cool thing where she says she's secretly harboring a crush for Callum. I don't think she is, but it's one of those things where she could be secretly harboring a crush. I don't know.
I don't think that's it. I think she's just too good of a person underneath all of this, and she's being very loyal to her father and very brainwashed by his motivations. I think that if the scam ever falls away, then she's going to, or if he pushes her too far and reveals that he's really a fundamentally bad person too much over time, then she will eventually just be like, I can't do this. So we'll see. But I want to see her do better than she is. I want to see her turn around.
But
Why was that a joke? I wasn't joking. Did I miss my own joke?
I'm not gonna. I mean, all I'm gonna say is that if she had the ambidextrous body that Ty Lee had, you probably want to see her turn around. But moving on. But but what I don't really I don't know. I don't really care about his children that much, honestly. I mean, if I guess if there's if any of his children I want to see more of is his son, because he kind of revealed that he has a moral compass somewhat under all that macho bravado that he likes to shove around people's faces, like
Mhm.
like under all that I'm gonna shove my penis in your face type of thing. But I hope that like him questioning, and him having that depressed moment there was showing some of his real character. Like maybe he isn't as like dumb as people think he is. Maybe he's actually really intelligent. It's just that he's one of those characters whose intelligence is kind of like what like determined his lackadaisical demeanor. Like he doesn't care about anything, because a lot of times characters who are intelligent typically adopt a I don't care about anything mentality, because they know everything. They don't need to like be worried about anything. They're really intelligent, and they just prefer to like be left alone. But
Mhm.
because even with all that, he seems to care about the princess, so much to the point where he even asked his father like, what would happen if I did find him? And then like even before all that, he was stretching, and his father told him that he was gonna go and report that they were dead. He literally had a moment of like, excuse me, I think I need to like cool my ears off for a minute. What you just tell me to do? Like type of like it's like I guess incident there. It was kind of an interesting, I guess interesting thing they had him do, and they didn't when they really didn't have to. Um,
Mhm.
so I think both his children are like innately good people. It's just they got a really douchebag of a father. Unfortunately,
Yeah, they did.
I'm actually kind of interested because like I'm actually kind of curious. I guess one of the big questions I can end this off here is I wonder what the king saw in him to, I guess, make him second in command, and if maybe they really were friends at some point, and something happened. Maybe it was the May's sister that really changed things.
Do you think the king knew about the egg, like the guy suggested in an earlier?
I mean, it would make sense, but then my question for that is, if he knew this entire time that there was a egg in his castle before all this happened, and he knew that they were going to get attacked because they've been attacked before apparently, because they've been like killing people or entities that have been trying to get into their castle walls to kill him. Why
Mhm.
didn't he has the authority. He expressed it in episode 1 or 2
Mhm.
over Varen. He has the authority. He could easily order his guards to take the egg and send it back to the edge where the dragon was killed. Like he,
Mhm.
I understand he was the one who ordered the dragon to be killed, but at the same time, it was one of those things where like I still have a question. It's like at the end of the day, if that's really true, that means like the king saying I'm gonna pay for this with my life isn't really just a bunch of talk. It's like it's him. It's part of his character. He feels like he's responsible, which he kind of technically is. I mean, he even brings up the fact that I've been letting you do this and that for a long while. I'm gonna stop you right here and now before it's too late. Um,
Mhm.
so I mean, there's a possibility he definitely didn't know, but I'm still curious about why he let it go on for so long. I mean, friend or not, if you know your reign is being someone's coming for your throne, you're gonna stop them, friend or not. So that's my bigger question is why did he? Well, I guess why did he let the egg stay inside his walls for so long, and why did he let it come to this? Like, was he just really that blindsided? Did he truly think if he thought his friend did this, did he truly think his friend was gonna come clean? Um, I mean, he could be right too. And maybe the whole snake thing really was just another one of those schemes that he concocted. Maybe I don't know. Because I would say I'm pretty sure he knows that his second in command was using dark magic. I'm pretty sure that
Mhm.
was like well known that he was using dark magic. So
Yeah, he says it. He says he's opposed to it.
so I
That's why
guess
he refuses to let him save himself.
But yeah, then the biggest question is, I wonder why he let him. I guess that's the biggest question here, as we end off here. Why did he let him continue on with it for so long, and decided now to grow a pair of balls to tell him no, and and hide behind the fact that he is the king, because that didn't seem to matter before. Like all of a sudden, it matters now that I'm the one who has all this power.
Yeah, something put him over the edge. He was just like, enough is enough. There's a lot of backstory here that we're not learning yet. That's what I mean. They've already created such a big world. Like, I'm so excited about this. I wish that there was more than 3 seasons, because it's really, really well put together series so far.
Well, I mean, I think it would be longer if it wasn't for the fact that this is the graphic novel and they just got the rights to animate it. So they're following along with like already pre-written stuff that's happening in the story.
Yeah.
So they don't have much of. I think they have a beginning and an end. I haven't read this graphic novel, so I don't even know anything about what's going on. This where at the time I heard about this story, the series, I was looking around. I didn't think I was ever going to find. I don't think I was ever going to be able to like watch the Dragon Prince.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you, I never found it. Years later.
I mean, the story's so good. I've mostly gotten over the animation quality, so that's saying a lot, because it took me a little while to get used to it.
Well, this is season 1. I'm pretty sure they got more money coming in. But
Yeah.
I guess I'll leave on that big question. Like, why did he let it go on for so long? There's a lot of questions I got going on here, and I guess we'll get those answered at some point later on. Hopefully they do. I hope they don't leave cliffhangers. I hate when stories do that. But it's gonna end it up here.
Cliffhanger at the end of every episode, so they're going to continue to do that.
I hope not. I mean, if they're gonna do cliffhangers, please don't, and please don't cliffhang in an important battle. I hate that. Like I understand Dragon Ball Z pioneered cliffhanger on the battle, but please don't do that anymore. For the love of future animators, for the future of all animation, don't do that. If you're gonna cliffhang, don't cliffhang in the middle of a fight. I get it, you want us to come back, but if we already watched into episode 100, do you think we're not gonna come back? Like, seriously, don't rely on that. That's annoying. We're gonna end up here. We're gonna watch. I think where was episode 6? So there's like 7, 8, 9. I guess the next one is gonna be all 3 episodes.
Okay.
I think, unless you want to do 2 and then 2, we do episode 9 of the season finale, and then episode 1 of the season 2 beginning. Unless
I'll
you want to
try to talk Jesse into 3 episodes in a week. We'll see what she says.
If she does, you don't want to do that, we can just do the 2 next week, and then the season finale, and then episode 1 of season 2. I mean,
let me check with Jesse and I'll get back to you. But I've been having a good time.
okay, I just wanted to make sure, because I didn't want to cut something in the middle of it, and we're talking about a season 1 and season 9. Season 1 episode 9 and then season 2 episode 1. I don't know if that was gonna be confusing for anything, but I guess we'll get to that when we get to it. Okay, we're gonna end off here.
My friend.